UC TV Sports presents high school football. Today, the Avondale Yellow Jackets take on the Hamtramck Cosmos. Good evening, everyone. Dave Zorn along with Mark Unger to bring you another season of high school football here on UC TV. And our kickoff classic here is something that they've called the Pope Bowl because they've moved it to a Wednesday instead of a Friday. And it's the Avondale Yellow Jackets taking on the Cosmos of Hamtramck. Well, Mark, two unbalanced teams here. I mean, rather not a great matchup, as you could say. Last year, the Avondale Yellow Jackets came in and scored 69 points to Hamtramck's 14.
Well, certainly on paper, it looks like this could be a tough match for the Cosmos. It's kind of like the Baltimore Orioles playing the Toronto Blue Jays right now. It's going to be very difficult, but Hamtramck has some athletes, and they're good kids. They work hard on the football field, and when you do that, you have a shot to win any game.
And we are underway in the 1987 season. Back to receive and fumbling the ball, going right into the hands of number 87 for Hamtramck, and down at about the 25-yard line, and that's where the Cosmos will start.
I think it's 86, Tony Davis.
86, Tony Davis coming up with it, and he is the starting receiver for the Cosmos.
Tony Davis will also play quarterback sometime today.
Okay, so the starting lineup for the Cosmos, Henry Sands will be their quarterback, Mike Ragland, the right halfback, Erskine Presley, the left halfback.
Erskine Presley.
Mark is looking forward to calling his name today.
Watch number 30.
That's the backfield. Tony Davis, the flanker, and a quick whistle right there, and flags flying all over the place.
Everybody knew the count on that play except for the center. And that'll be 5 yards against the Cosmos. Not the way you want to start out a ball game when you're playing somebody as tough as the Rhinos. We call them the Rhinos because they take after their head coach, Rick Brewer. And Rick Brewer is known as the Rhino. He's been there 13 years at Avondale High School, compiled a record of 75 and 34. His assistant coaches are Tony Messina, Keith Gust, Randy Cornell, and Steve Auger. You will see a pretty direct offense from Hamtramck. They don't do anything special. They run a lot of quick hitting plays and run the ball better than they pass it.
Let's take a look. Henry Sands, the quarterback. Split backfield. And a quick pattern, a quick slant in to his end, who had to wait for the ball to come to him. Number 82 on the reception, Mike Nichols.
And just as I said that, they of course threw a pass.
They threw a pass.
And a nice one. But once again, it was a quick hitting type of pass, not a long pass. You won't see any of that from Hamtramck today. Although they do have a little bit of speed on the outside with those wide receivers.
Tyrone Weathersby, the other end, the other wide receiver. On the offensive line, it's the center, Andy Raguski, in there now. Raguski. I formation in the backfield, and straight up the middle. Nothing there as Avondale, the Yellow Jackets, shut it down.
First man through.
And we'll bring up third and short here.
Yeah, a gain of about 2 yards on the play.
Third and about a yard.
Coach Mark Brown, we were talking to him before the game as big number 72 goes into the ball game. Who is that? Robert Waskowitz?
Weskovich.
That's what I said, isn't it?
That's it, something like that.
You'll have to forgive us if we don't do pronunciations too well today.
I formation in the backfield. They've got a slot here at the bottom of the screen. And a handoff off tackle, nothing there, and getting in there quickly. As soon as he gets up, we'll call him for you. And that is number 70, or excuse me, number 50 getting in there quick.
First man through was Pashko G, and he got wrapped up right away by that tough Avondale defensive line.
No, that was Mark Harper for Avondale.
Quickly. Okay.
And it knocks them back. 4th and 3 now, and a punting situation for the Cosmos. Back to punt is number 82 for the Cosmos. And he can't get it off, and finally does. Not too good, though, as it comes out to about midfield.
Takes a Cosmo bounce.
And down at about the 48-yard line of Avondale. So not that great of a punt.
Well, actually, he got pretty lucky because it could have been a lot worse. Could have been a block, but he averted the rusher and still got the kickoff for about 20 yards.
So Mike Nichols manages to get the ball over into Avondale territory, but 2 yards shy of the 50-yard line. And the Yellow Jackets will start out now.
And we'll see even less of a passing game from the Avondale Rhinos. They're big, and they just like to run straight at you. Very little misdirection.
Handoff, off tackle. And this goes to number 5, the leading rusher, Dave Hedrick.
Hedrick and Thomas will be the two men that we'll be calling mostly today. They compiled together almost 2,000 yards rushing last year.
And some big backs back there for the Yellow Jackets. Currently right now coming into the game, Hedrick leads the team in rushing with 265 yards and a 6.97 average. Thomas right behind him with 212 yards and a 5.17 average. Grayla, the quarterback, handing off tackle again, this time to number 44, and that is Yusef Thomas.
Yusef Thomas is a big kid, too. He looks real good running that ball. Avondale, they used to play in the NOAC, the North Oakland County Athletic Conference, and what they did a couple of years ago was go independent. And frankly, they got their butts beat pretty good because they were playing all-A schools. Now they're back in the Metro Conference and playing teams like Hamtramck and Harper Woods and dominating.
So it's a first down now on the Hamtramck 37-yard line. Hand off again off tackle, and they stop him cold that time.
Excellent work up front by big number 72. That's Waskovich.
Waskovich again.
See, give me a little time.
Calling his number again. We got it that time. It'll be 2nd and 10 now for the Yellow Jackets. The Yellow Jackets, you mentioned, they changed divisions. They were division champions in 76, 77, and 78.
That was in the NOAC.
That was in the NOAC. Then, again, in the NOAC, in 1980, 81, and 82, they were conference champions in 1980 with a 9-0 record, undefeated that year. Then last year they were 9-1 as Metro Conference champions.
That's true. Here we go again.
Conference.
And they stop them again.
So Hamtramck toughens up, and the defense is fired up for the Cosmos, stopping the Yellow Jackets on 2 consecutive dive plays.
And you can kind of feel the momentum building here at Keyworth Stadium as the defense has really stopped completely the rushing attack of the Rhinos in the second series well, actually the first series, but after the first down, the second 10 yards of the field has been very tough for the Rhinos.
Hey, watch the back.
There you get a look at head coach Mark Brown of the Cosmos.
It is 3rd and about 8. And not a very good passing team. But Grayla back to pass.
And he's rushed.
The pressure is on, and he's sacked for a loss of about 8 yards.
And you know, that was actually a very smart play by Jeff Grayla not to try and throw the ball as he was getting dragged down, because so often it'll turn into an interception. He just ate it that time, and Avondale will have to punt.
The Yellow Jackets have not been that successful passing this year. 15 attempts, only 2 completions for 46 yards, and 1 interception.
Kind of sounds like the Michigan passing attack.
And to punt, it'll be Hedrick. Angling for the sideline, may get it out at about the 20, the 15, and it's still going.
Stayed
and
in.
Finally out at about
the 9-yard line, 10-yard line.
The 10-yard line.
Excellent punt. Hedrick is a very good punter, and the kicking team for Avondale is good too. By the way, I guess we should mention that Hamtramck did win the toss, and they elected to receive. There you get a look at the sideline as the defense comes off. They did do a good job. This is a very tough offense that they stopped, especially the running game. But
now,
if you're... Go ahead.
Now the defense for the Yellow Jackets comes in, and you know, out of all the games last year, guess which team scored the most points against the Yellow Jackets?
Hamtramck?
Hamtramck,
No
with 14
kidding.
points, so you can tell how tough this defense is. And they've got 15 players coming back, starters,
wow, and
from last year.
They had 5 shutouts last year.
And 5 shutouts. So you can tell it's a very tough defense. Let's see what Hamtramck can do. Cut back and a gain of a couple yards that time for the Cosmos.
It's going to be very tough to run inside against the Avondale Yellow Jackets. They do a lot of stunting inside, and they can really stop you before you even have a chance to get going. That was my man Erskine Presley carrying the ball.
Gain of about 2 yards. It'll be 2nd and a long 8.
Melvin Miner goes into the game. as Tony Davis comes out for Hamtramck.
Sands, the quarterback. You see him there, number 12 for the Cosmos.
He's a tough little kid.
And a split formation down to the bottom of the screen. And there it is, the pass there to number 44. And brought down, and a first down for the Cosmos. Melvin Miner, 5'7", 145 flanker.
He looks a little bit bigger than 5'7", but he did a great job of catching that pass and then turning it directly upfield. He didn't try to cut back and get cute. He just turned straight up the field and got the first down.
Number 44, Melvin Miner, with a big gain and a pass from Sands. And Miner comes out. And bringing in the play, number 86, Tony Davis.
Those two will switch all day long, bringing in the plays from head coach Mark Brown.
Davis now comes to the bottom of the screen.
See if they try and run wide one time against the Avondale Rhinos.
Split backfield and off tackle again. Nothing there that time as a swarm of tacklers.
I think if you can get outside on this team, you're going to make some yardage. But trying to run inside, like I said, plus they have those tough linebackers on the inside.
Mike Ragland on the carry, gain of about a yard. It'll be 2nd and 9 now for the Cosmos.
Rod Fackery does a good job in the inside linebacker position. So does Todd Vidic. He's one of the co-captains.
Vidic is the man to watch. He's the inside linebacker, number 81 for the Yellow Jackets. Pro formation at the top of the screen there, number 44. That is Miner up there. Sands back to pass. They're cutting across the field. He's got no one to throw to. He's going to run.
Oh, my!
Hard.
What a hit.
He can't be out of pocket,
You hear some complaints to the referee.
And I want to tell you, that referee took a shot. But
if there's anybody who should be complaining, it's the referee.
And let me tell you something, that was a clean hit. Sands was not out of bounds before he got hit. That was number 50 that came across and made that smack, and oh my.
Is that Mike McClellan? Looks a little bit like Mike without the beard. It'll be 3rd.
That was Mark
and 7. Split formation in the backfield, 3rd and long.
Fake the pass. Now they go downfield.
Davis is the man they want, but they've got an interception instead. It'll be number 24 back there. And that is Chris Benedict. Benedict cutting all the way across the field. And a first down for the Yellow Jackets. A big interception on a 3rd down play.
Nice interception by Benedict. He had to run under that, and he had to fight his own man to catch the ball. And a lot of times you end up knocking it out of each other's hands. That time he hauled it in, took off all the way across the field, and picked up about an extra 15 yards on the interception.
So maybe they're thinking it's like a long pass. And we get a little... maybe take the long pass as a long punt and see what happens on the return.
Right, but it wasn't that long a pass, and plus he made a good return.
The ball just shy of the 40-yard line, the 48. And the option.
Good block.
Thomas cuts it outside, and a big gain coming up here. He cuts back and finally down at about the 10-yard line. What a run by Thomas.
Jeff Krupp made a block. He's the tight end, number 81. But I got to tell you something. I did not think that it was a clip. That's what they're going to call that he clipped. But I thought that was a clean hit.
So they're going to bring it back now. Thomas on a great run. And a nice block by Krupp, but they called it a clipping.
I'm real surprised.
Clipping penalty now on Krupp. And Mark, you didn't think so.
I did not, but I'm not down there on the field. Those referees know what they're doing, and they do it every game, so.
There it is. That's.
Maybe they saw something I didn't.
So, 1st and 25 now for the Yellow Jackets.
That is a very big break for Hamtramck. I think Thomas was down to, what, the 10-yard line when they stopped him?
Yep. So rather being a 1st and goal situation, or close to it, they are 1st and 25 at about the 45-yard line. Grayla on the option again, pitches at the right time. Hedrick with a big run. Hedrick out to about the original line of scrimmage, and now it's 2nd and 10, and a great run by Hedrick.
Excellent play selection by Rick Brewer. He saw that it worked the last time, but they got caught on a penalty that might not even have been a penalty, so they came right back with the same play, only this time ran it to the other side of the field with their other running back, Hedrick, and they got a big gainer, and now it'll be 2nd and about 7.
The key to the play, obviously, Grayla pitching at the right time, making that defensive end to commit himself. And that allowed Grayla to pitch to Hedrick, and he turned on the afterburners and gained, about 18 yards on the play. 2nd and 7, and right off tackle to Thomas, and nothing there.
Big number 78 for the Hamtramck Cosmos got in to make the stop. That's Paul Bilecki, the 6'4", 255-pound tackle. He's a senior this year and leading that team out there. A lot of seniors out here for Hamtramck. Not a young team at all.
3rd and about 6 now for the Yellow Jackets, and they're going to have to run this ball outside if they want to get anywhere, because the Cosmos are shutting down anything off tackle.
Cosmos trying to make some defensive signal changes right now.
You saw Mark Brown on your screen doing that. Grayla, the quarterback, he's got a man split down here. That's Morton, number 4. Grayla handing off a trap off the middle, and
great balance.
Thomas keeps his balance. He's off. And he's finally dragged out of bounds at about the 10-yard line.
Tony Davis came over to make the tackle after Boy, Thomas had really made a nice run. They did a little misdirection. We said they weren't going to do that. That's exactly what they did. Cross-buck, and the hole was wide open. Excellent job of blocking by the offensive line.
So the Yellow Jackets coming back after a 1st and 25 situation. And the end of the first quarter in a very fast-paced first quarter, as both teams running the ball most of the time. Only a couple passes, but the clock kept going.
And we have no score here, nothing, but the Avondale Rhinos are challenging that goal line right now.
The Yellow Jackets are 2-0 this year. Their first game was against Heartland. They won 21-8, and they won the next game 21-7 against Clarenceville of Livonia. So they're 2-0 and looking good. The running backs are off to a great start. 2 games, and they're already into well over 200 yards.
And I wonder how many yards Hedrick and Thomas have already. Well, Thomas would have had a lot more had they allowed that run that he had. For Hamtramck this year, they are 1-1. They won their first game of the season against St. Florence, 13-6. Last week they lost at Harper Woods, 25-0. So that was they probably had a very tough week of practice with Coach Mark Brown.
We talked about Avondale's record last year at 9-1. Hamtramck was not as lucky. They came up with a 2-7 record overall, and they only have a few men returning from that team, 5 on offense and 4 on defense, so it's going to hurt you, and a lot of the guys go both ways.
That's right. You get a look at some of the hardier Avondale fans that came down to watch the game here at Keyworth Stadium. We're in Hamtramck at the corner of Gallagher and Roosevelt, the tropical city of Hamtramck.
And it is tropical today.
It is.
Warm and humid. 1st and 10. They need to about the 2-yard line to get a first down. Grayla, the quarterback, handing off up the middle, and Thomas is hit there.
You know, when your defensive backs have to come up and make the tackle, you know the other team is gaining some yardage. That time Rico Quaker came up from his halfback position and made the tackle. And he put a good hit on Thomas, who's down right now.
He hit him low. He submarined him down there, and Thomas fell forward, gained a few more yards than he would have had he hit him higher.
Looks like the right leg.
But that's the guy that made this team go last year. A lot of things went off of what Thomas did, and that sort of opened the door up for Hedrick to have a great season last year too.
And they're looking at that right knee, and that is just awful. You hate to see that at any level of football.
Hope he can get up here. A promising career for this guy, Yusef Thomas. Gain of about 5 on the play, and he got hit at the line of scrimmage.
Just flipped him right over in the air. Yusef Thomas is a senior this year. He's a big kid, though, 5'10" and 170 pounds.
Yeah, for high school, that is a good size.
Very large. There he is, up on his feet.
Coming off, limping off. Good to see him walking at least.
Look at that sportsmanship by the Hamtramck Cosmos. You like to see that.
That's good. And a good sign for Avondale fans as Thomas walks off.
There you go.
It'll be 2nd and about 5 now for the Yellow Jackets. As we resume play now. Grayla, the quarterback, back in the backfield. We've got number 34 now for the Yellow Jackets. Chuck Johnson in there for Yusef Thomas. It'll be Hedrick and Johnson in the backfield. Grayla hands off to the new man, Johnson, and he's down at the line of scrimmage. No gain.
It's going to be very tough to run inside now down in the goal line. And yet when you run wide down there, the defense doesn't have that much territory to cover, so they can cut you down that way too. This is very tough yardage right now. 3rd down and about 4.
Bringing in the play, number 84, Tom Schott. And I suspect a option here or something. They've been running that successfully.
Yeah, but without Thomas in the game, that may not be as good a play as it was.
Well, Hedrick made a big gain on the option before. Here it is, the handoff to Hedrick. Muscles his way in for a touchdown.
That was just pure muscle. Any of you young kids out there watching this game right now, you watch Hedrick. He gets the ball and he drives. He keeps those legs pumping, keeps them moving. No matter how many guys he had on him, he still had the leg drive, and that is what carried him into the end zone, even though he had 2 or 3 Hamtramck defenders on him trying to stop him.
So Hedrick, Dave Hedrick with a 6-yard run gives the Avondale Yellow Jackets a 6-0 lead.
Hedrick and Thomas are a lot alike in size. Hedrick 5'11" and 175. You get that much weight moving that quickly, and you keep it low to the ground and keep your legs pumping, good things happen.
The extra point is no good. So it stays 6-0 now as the Yellow Jackets come up on the board first.
That looked almost like the kickoff. Very low line drive type of kick.
So the Rhinos Yellow Jackets get on the board first. A 6-yard run by Dave Hedrick here in the 2nd quarter. And it's 6-0 as the Hamtramck Cosmos will now receive and see if they can get anything going.
So far we've seen some interesting patterns. From Hamtramck, they seem to be able to pass a little bit when they passed wide and ran that one play. Also, running wide, they did all right. For Avondale, they've been able to run up the middle and wide. Occasionally they got stopped up the middle though, so kind of a balanced offense for both teams.
Johnson to kick a low squiv kick and trying to bounce it off somebody. But Hamtramck falls on it quickly at about the 45-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 there. Good field position for the Cosmos.
Excellent field position. I don't know if he intended it to be that short. I know he wanted to squib it, but I think he might have liked it to get downfield a little bit more. I mean, it didn't look like an onside kick, you know?
He kicked it real hard. He may have been expecting it to bounce off somebody, too. 1st and 10 now at about the 45-yard line for the Cosmos. Pro formation, 2-men split at the bottom of the screen. Back to pass. Sands.
Got a man.
Sands. Scrambling, and buying some time. Has a man at the line of scrimmage, and in and out of his hands, that was Tyrone Weathersby.
Tyrone Weathersby should have caught that pass. It was right in the pads. But see, that's a mistake that a lot of young receivers make. They try and catch it with the body, with the pads, instead of getting their hands on it. That's exactly what Tyrone Weathersby did in that case.
Bringing in the play, Melvin Miner. And it'll be 2nd and 10 now as Weathersby comes out. Henry Sands, the quarterback.
I think
in
that's
his backfield, Mike Ragland.
I think that's Tony Davis that came out. Weathersby is at left end right now.
Okay, Davis switching out that time. The pitch from Sands outside to Ragland. Ragland cuts up.
Fumble.
Fumbles the ball, and Avondale comes up with it. It looked like a great gain for Ragland as he got out over midfield to about the other 45 and almost another 1st down. But it's a 1st down going the other way now as Avondale comes up with it.
Ragland very unhappy about that, I'm sure. He had a nice gainer. They were close to a 1st down. It would have probably been 3rd and a yard. And instead, somebody got a hand in and stripped it away, and now it is Avondale ball. You know, that's another thing that their defense does very well, is create the turnover.
First and 10 now for the Yellow Jackets. Yusef Thomas still out. Number 44, Hedrick, and number 45 are in there now, Dennis Long. The handoff to Hedrick, up the middle, spins, still on his feet, first down and more.
And I want to tell you something. If he hadn't run into his own man, Jonathan Morton, Hedrick might have ran for a few more yards. There you look at Jonathan Morton, who kind of got in the way. There's Hedrick. He ran into him, but he might have had a few more yards if he hadn't run into him.
So Dave Hedrick, the leading rusher coming into this game for the Yellow Jackets, has to carry the load now, as the other big ground gainer, Yusef Thomas, is out with injury.
The Hamtramck defense in the 5-2.
Two men split, two men in the backfield. A handoff again to Hedrick. Up the middle, gain of about 6 yards.
Excellent running by Hedrick. He keeps his body very low to the ground, keeps that head down and the legs pumping. That's just very effective running of the football.
It'll be gain of 5. It'll be 2nd and 5 now. Bringing the play in, Jeff Kusemba, a junior flanker. And it looks like an I formation now for the Yellow Jackets. And go to the split. Two men at the bottom of the screen. Grayla takes it himself, cuts upfield, he's got the first down and more. Cuts outside and down at about the 21-yard line.
Good job by Tyrone Weathersby to make the tackle. Grayla tried to put a move on him, but Weathersby stood his ground and got the quarterback down. Excellent move by Grayla keeping the ball. They had set that up perfectly by releasing the ball to Hedrick the last couple of times, and now this time Grayla turns it upfield for the first time in the game.
He did not see an end coming across and just decided to cut upfield, and a great move. And it's 1st and 10, the ball at the 22-yard line of Hamtramck.
As we told you they would, the Rhinos keeping the ball basically on the ground, just grinding it out.
Slot man down at the bottom of the screen, but they go inside to number 45, Dennis Long.
Good penetration by the defensive line of Hamtramck that time. When you fire out low, you can knock the offensive guys back a little bit, foul up the play, and that's exactly what happened.
2nd and 9 now, gain of 1 on the play.
It's interesting to see who's winning the battle on the line of scrimmage. It kind of varies.
Hamtramck made some nice goal line, or not goal line stands, but some nice stands deep in their own territory in the first quarter. Let's see if they can do it again here. 2nd and 9. Grayla fakes the handoff, pitches out. Hedrick now has one man to beat and dives forward. And a nice gain for the Yellow Jackets on a 3rd down situation now. So it'll be 3rd and about 4. Gain of about 5 on the play. If there was a move needed there, they needed one that time. One man to beat for the first down. The pursuit may have caught up to him, but he probably would have got the first down.
Probably would have.
Yusef Thomas is back in the game, number 44, so a good sign for the Yellow Jackets. 3rd and 4. Watch for Thomas now. They've got him in there. And the pitch to Thomas. Thomas has to slow down to get the pitch, and he's caught in the backfield in a swarm of tacklers and a loss. They were watching Thomas. They knew that he might get the ball, and I think a little hesitation in Grayla. He may have wanted to cut upfield at that point.
I think it was a sloppy pitch. It was kind of high, and he didn't really get it out there quickly. And when Thomas finally got it, Tony Davis was there to slow him up, and the rest of the defense came over and made the swarming tackle. Good team defense that time by the Hamtramck Cosmos.
Well, they had it covered well. They had the quarterback covered with the defensive lineman. The linebacker came up and covered Thomas, and they shut down the play very effectively.
And they're going for it on 4th down and 8.
4th and long, you might as well go for it. There's no room to punt.
It's a big play.
Grayla to pass. He's got a lot of room to run, and the pass is
excellent
complete.
catch. Excellent catch.
Complete to number 4, Morton. John Morton on the reception.
Johnny Morton had to go down low and scoop that ball up before it hit the ground, and he did exactly that. Excellent catch for the first down. It'll be 1st and goal now. That was a huge play. 4th down and 8, and the Rhinos came up with it.
Not known as a passing team, the Yellow Jackets come up with a big pass play.
Number 84, Tom Schott, into the game now, probably as an extra blocker up front. He lines up on the right side, tight end position. They've got the double tight end set.
First and goal, just shy of the 5-yard line. We'll call it the 6. Handoff to Hedrick. And Hedrick is in. Touchdown, the Yellow Jackets.
I mean, he is just tough to stop, isn't he?
Keeps those feet moving.
Gets that momentum going, and he just needs a little crack in that defensive line, and it's all over.
Another 6-yard run by Hedrick here in the second quarter. That's 2 for him. 2 6-yard runs, 2 touchdowns. And it's Hedrick, 12. And the Cosmos, nothing. Let's see what happens on the extra point attempt this time.
I think they might go for 2.
They might want to go for 2 and make up for the missed extra point.
Rhino called a timeout here. I guess he's going to talk it over with his coaches and the quarterback, and they'll see what they can do. You can see the band working its way around the field. They're getting ready for the halftime show here at Keyworth Stadium.
And what a show United Cable has for you this fall. The NFL comes to ESPN Channel 10 starting November 8th. ESPN will cover 8 NFL regular season games, so don't miss the excitement here on United Cable.
I'm looking forward to it. ESPN did a pretty good job with that arena ball, and I'm sure the regular NFL will be pretty fun too. That was a great first week of the season. Some big upsets.
Big upsets. Chuck Long look okay. The Lions look okay, just like they do every year.
Oh, please.
They look okay. Mediocre football.
It's being generous.
But there you see Rhino out there talking to his players.
He looks like a rhino, doesn't he?
That's why they call him, Rick.
You know? Guy should have a horn coming out of his head.
The Rhinos. I'll tell you, when he retires, he's got such a great record over there. When he retires, they may rename the team. Instead of the Yellow Jackets, they may call them the Rhinos. He has done such a great job over there throughout the years at Avondale High School.
And they're going to go for 2 here.
Grayler, the quarterback, I formation. The pitch back to Thomas. Thomas hit in the backfield and brought down by number 14.
Rico Quaker got back there lightning fast. He did not get fooled at all on that play, and he tackled him up high. That's a tough thing to do.
Rico Quaker, they got in there quick. They knew the pitch was coming. They didn't know which side, and they knew it was going to Thomas. They shut him down again. So it's 12-0. 2 6-yard runs this quarter by Dave Hedrick. Clock is not working, so I saw you asking for the time over there.
Well, we're in the second quarter.
But yeah, we're going to let you know if we hear. And a great play over there.
Yeah, that was
by Rico Quaker to stop the 2-point conversion attempt. Johnson will do the kicking. Number 34, Chuck Johnson.
It's absolutely important for the Cosmos now to get the ball back and do something offensively. They've got to get some points on the board before the end of the half.
Johnson this time gives it a boot and fielded at about the 7-yard line and taken there and fumble, and the Yellow Jackets have it. The Yellow Jackets have it. Melvin Minor on the fumble, and the Yellow Jackets come up with another big fumble recovery.
I'm sure nobody feels worse than the senior, Melvin Minor, but you really got to concentrate out there and keep that ball tucked, and when you're going to get hit, wrap it up and go down. Instead, he kind of left it hanging out there, was slapped away, and now the Rhinos have a chance to kind of put this game away early in the game.
I'll tell you why this hurts, because you got that defense out there all second quarter.
Yeah.
And just when they think they're going to get a break coming off the field, they have to go right back out there.
Excellent point, Dave. You got to give that defense a rest.
Ball on about the 17-yard line. And the option again, the pitch to Hedrick. Hedrick, a lot of room to run outside. And he shoved out of bounds at about the 10-yard line.
And I'll tell you why that worked so well. Not only did Grayla make a good pitch this time and get it out there quickly and at the right time, but Johnny Morton has been doing a great job of blocking downfield ahead of the play, and that's exactly what happened there, and that's the reason the play went for as big a gain as it did, 7, almost 8 yards.
The ball just inside the 10-yard line, second and about 3.
So this second quarter has mainly been a running quarter, but running wide for the Rhinos.
Running wide. And a one big pass play that got the touchdown for the Yellow Jackets that time.
That's right.
Pass to Morton. 2 men in the backfield. They're split. Hedrick and Thomas. Grayla The handoff to Hedrick. He's hit hard by big number 76, Don Owen.
And a host of other tacklers for the Cosmos,
if you will.
Yeah, you mentioned a minute ago that catch by Johnny Morton, not the one he made on the 4th down and 8. That was a very big play in this second quarter of action.
3rd and 3, so some flashes of brilliance there by the Cosmo defense that time, just shutting them down completely. And we've seen them do that a few times.
You know, when the defensive line gets that penetration, it stops those quick hitters, and that's what happened that time as the first man through, Hedrick got the ball. Let's see if they don't run wide again.
Split in the backfield, pro formation. They're going for the tight end, and in and out of the hands of number 81. And that was Todd Vidic.
Vidic should have caught that ball, and it was almost picked off after he missed it by Rico Quaker. Quaker with quick hands, but not quick enough as the referee saw the ball hit the ground.
Well, Todd, it's hard to catch with those big pads on your hands.
Yeah, that's right.
Mostly a blocking tight end. Vidic that time trying to get open.
You know, if you take those pads off and stick them in your pants, guys think something is up, so kind of gives away the pass.
That was a tough pass to catch, too, so yeah, Todd will give you a break on that one. 4th down and 3. Grayla handing off inside, and Hedrick just pushes his way for a first down.
Yes, he did. 5 yards on the play, and that is a big first down.
5 yards in a cloud of dust.
I'll tell you one thing.
But this is a nice field, so there's no dust here.
It is a nice field. The field is in excellent shape here. We should commend the Keyworth Stadium groundskeepers.
I'll tell you, one of the nicest fields I've seen.
Yep.
Great condition down there. So now a first down and goal from the 5-yard line for the Yellow Jackets.
You know, almost every time the Yellow Jackets have had to come up with a big play, they have. And that's something you need if you're going to do well in high school football.
Pro formation, 2 men in the backfield. The handoff to Thomas. Thomas, touchdown. Touchdown, Yusef Thomas, and the Yellow Jackets have scored another 6 points.
Well, for a little while there, we thought Yusef Thomas might be badly injured enough to stay out of the game, but he has come back, and now he's got a 5-yard touchdown. He got hit right as he crossed the line of scrimmage, but shook it off and kept those legs pumping. He got into the end zone for the score. 18-0. That makes it. Here as the second quarter winds down.
And the first quarter flew by. The second quarter is probably going to do the same, as we have seen nothing but some running plays here. They're going for the extra point. It is up. It is good. And
they lost the ball.
Out of the stadium. He kicked it so well, they lost the ball.
That one's out on the railroad tracks.
Now the question is, can you get over to the railroad tracks and pick it up?
I'll tell you, if you can, you got a nice football for this fall.
Well, usually at stadiums like East Lansing.
That kick was good.
The kick was good, but usually stadiums like East Lansing, they'll have to throw the ball over. This one, you just boot it right out of here.
You mean throw it back?
Yeah. So the score now, 19. Extra point is good, 19-0. As the Avondale Yellow Jackets have just totally dominated the second quarter. We were 0-0 at the end of the first quarter. The Yellow Jackets were threatening at the end of the quarter. And there you see Mark Brown.
I want you guys, I want you there. Okay, I want you where grab him and put him over there. And tell him to remind Nichols, he's got to take the tight end. He's got
the kickoff taken down at about the 18-yard line, and scrambling around is the quarterback, number 12, Henry Sands.
And he was wrapped up pretty good right there by number 58, Dan Ziem.
These are Class B schools, so you're going to see a lot of players playing special teams, playing both ways, and that time you saw the quarterback, Sands, in there fielding it.
You know, you mentioned that they're both Class B schools. When I think of Hamtramck, I don't think of a Class B caliber school. When I think of Avondale, I do.
And why is that?
Just, I guess
just
my
coming
years
from the
of
city
playing
and then going out into the...
You know, when I was playing, we used to play Hamtramck, and they were a Class D school.
Hit hard and knocked out of bounds, and flags on the play. Looks like we may have some holding calls back here. Ragland on the carry.
Yeah, I think you're going to see a holding call against big number 76, Donald Owen.
The score 19-0. The Yellow Jackets lead. And
Seems
the
like
Cosmos trying to get some offense going.
Cosmo can't get out of their own way.
No.
They get the ball, they fumble. They get a nice run, it's a penalty on it.
And they've had some nice runs, too, but they've been called back. This one's going to be knocked back even more. We'll have a first down and 20 coming up.
Kind of remind you of like they went to the Green Bay Packers School of Football.
Which Green Bay Packers now? The ones we're seeing now or the old ones?
Well, aren't they about to say? Oh, right, the ones we're seeing now.
Come on, the
Definitely.
old ones. Come on now.
Post-Lombardi.
Yeah, the post-Lombardi
Okay.
era. That's making yourself
I
clear.
have a joke about Green Bay Packers, but I'm not going to tell it right now. I'll save
Okay.
it for later.
First and 25 it is, and they drew him offside, so they're going to get some of that yardage back.
Yeah.
First and 10 it was. First and 20, not 25. Now it's first and 15.
Actually, it's a little more because the penalty was a little bit behind the line of scrimmage, and they marked it off from where the penalty took place.
Okay, so where are we talking now? About first and
16.
16, 17. Difficult to tell from the far side of the field there, the markers. Sands to pass. He's got his man complete and knocked down by Vidic, and Vidic almost knocked that ball out of there
He was down.
for another fumble. But catching it is Tony Davis, the flanker. And we've got a second and a couple yards coming up. A great play by the Cosmos to get some of that yardage back.
Second and 12.
Oh, second and 12. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong yard marker.
Well, I want to tell you something. The reason that Hamtramck is fumbling a lot is Avondale is really hitting out there.
Yeah. So they got about 5 yards back. Second and 12 now. And they're not in bad position. Sands back to pass, rolling way deep and trying to get away from the pursuit. Let's go, and a diving effort over there by number 82, Mike Nichols. He just couldn't get to it.
Wow, Sands was running for his life. He had 3 of the biggest Avondale Rhinos out there breathing down his neck, and he was able to get the pass away, but it was an incompletion. That'll bring up third down and 12 yards for the Cosmos.
Here you see Rick Rhino Brewer, and that is Mark Brown.
Tony Davis into the game now.
Mark's assistant coach right there.
Melvin Miner comes out.
In that last play, that's where the quarterback needs some help. So if Nichols would have come back just a little bit, maybe 2 or 3 yards, he might have had a better chance to catch that ball.
Coming back to the ball, very important thing that a receiver has to do.
Third and 12 now. Sands with a quick pattern, can't do it, nothing there. Unloads this time, up for grabs, and almost intercepted by Mark Harper.
Mark Harper did a good job of getting his hands up in the air to, if not intercepted, at least make sure that the Cosmos didn't complete the pass. That'll bring up fourth down, and I'm sure they're going to punt here.
They have no choice here. If Harper intercepted that ball, there's only one man to beat, and that was the man right on his back. A timeout called by the Yellow Jackets because there's not much time left.
We don't know how much.
And nobody knows how much time there is. So we've got a pause in the action with a timeout down on the field. We'll be back. The score 19-0, the Yellow Jackets lead.
Troy Stamp & Coin has moved to a new location, and although stamps and coins are our specialty, just take a look at some of the other items we have to offer. So don't let our name fool you, because for a large selection and the best deals in town, it's Troy Stamp & Coin, located at 3275 Rochester Road in the Troy Point Plaza.
The Hamtramck Cosmos need somebody to lean on right now. The score 19-0. We're near the end of the first half. And the Yellow Jackets have called timeout so that they can possibly get the ball down on this end of the field and try to score.
Yeah, but I got it. That was an incredibly musical segue.
Did you like
was
that one?
tremendous.
That's the old DJ in me coming out.
I'll tell you, it's great working with a professional like you, Zorn.
It is a 4th and 12 situation. The punter is number 82, Mike Nichols.
And everybody's coming.
Trying to get a big boot out of this one. Oh, no. Nichols scrambling. And
no, he underhands it.
The old Garo
out of bounds. Luckily he went
Yepremian.
out of bounds.
The old Garo Yepremian trick. Almost tried to kick it, and there's a penalty flag.
Is that a penalty?
Let's see what happens. Try to forward pass it. There was nobody to pass to.
Well, it was an underhand.
It was forward lateral. Forward lateral.
All right, there we go. That's the penalty.
But you can do that behind the line of scrimmage, can't you?
Yeah, as long as it
flicker.
doesn't go. As long as it doesn't go past the line of scrimmage.
And it did go past the line of scrimmage. So it's that way. It's an intentional grounding.
Yeah. Or an illegal
Or did they
lateral.
rough the kicker? I did not see that. So let's see what happens.
He wasn't exactly kicking, I don't think. Yeah,
grounding the ball. That's what it is.
There it is.
Well, had he tried to kick it, and they tackled him, that's roughing the kicker. No, could not get the ball off.
Right.
And now
it's an automatic penalty. They can't refuse.
let's see what they do. Okay, so it's first down
They're going
for
to
the
kick
Yellow
it again.
Jackets. They're going to kick it again.
Oh, it is. Oh, it is first down.
Okay, a lot of confusion out there.
It's
All right.
Rhino ball.
It's the Rhino ball. They're getting the Rhino ball in. They don't know what time it is. They need to know the time down on the field. Here comes Grayla with the play. So the timeout worked for the Rhinos.
There's Rick Brewer. He says, yeah, I guess I did it right.
Not much time left on the clock. We don't know for sure, but I think they've got to get this series in.
Well, they probably have to pass then.
And that's what they're going to do. Only a couple seconds, and they're going to try to stop the clock if they can't get it in. Nice pass and batted away, and a good defensive play there by Tony Davis.
Tony Davis did a heck of a job.
And that was the last play, so there wasn't much time left on the clock. Time for one play. And that was the last play of the first half. The final score in the first half, 19-0. And Morton was the intended receiver. He caught a nice pass earlier to set up a touchdown. And let's recap so far that scoring for you. In the second quarter, Dave Hedrick, 6 yards for the first score, 6-0. Hedrick again with another 6-yard run, made it 12-0. Yusef Thomas came back in the game after a scare. We thought he might be out, but he came back, scored on a 5-yard run, made it 18-0. The extra point was good. It was so good it went out of the stadium, and it was 19-0, and that's where we stand right now at halftime, as the Yellow Jackets lead the Cosmos 19-0. And some big regrouping needing to be done in the Hamtramck locker room. We'll be back to talk about that right after these messages.
Thanks, Oakland County, for making Troy Stamp and Coin #1. We've doubled our space, doubled our selection, and that means great buys for you, the collector, like Melody in Motion musical figurines. You'll also find great buys on silver and collector's coins, figurines from Hummel and Emmett Kelly, and the largest selection of collector's plates in the metro area. So for friendly service and the best deals in town, make a Troy Stamp and Coin, located on Rochester Road, just north of 16 Mile.
Hello, sports fans. This is Ron Cameron.
And I'm Bob Page, here to tell you that, yes, we've moved again.
That's to stay one step ahead of the bill collectors.
To stay one step ahead of all these irate fans who've had it with your ridiculous and misinformed opinions. However, we can agree on one thing.
What's
we
that?
want all the people to watch our show, Sports View Today, right here on our flagship station, United Cable. And now we can be seen on Channel 63, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday night, 6 and 9 p.m., Channel 63.
The Avondale Yellow Jackets 19-0. They lead over the Hamtramck Cosmos, and not a very good first half for the Cosmos.
No, they really played lousy football. They had a couple of turnovers that really hurt them down deep in their own end, and then when they did get the ball, they had costly penalties on some good plays. And then for Avondale, they're a good team. They're not going to give anything to you, and they're going to capitalize on your mistakes, and that's exactly what we saw in the first half.
And they capitalized indeed. They scored once by Hedrick 6 yards out. They scored again, Hedrick 6 yards out, and Thomas came back with a 5-yard run, and the extra point they finally managed to get right, and they got it so good that it cleared the stadium. So it was 19-0 at the half, and I'll tell you, a big scare
I think we're
for
on.
everybody. A big scare for everybody was when Yusuf Thomas got hit down there near the end zone.
And it was just a good, clean hit, but as you say, Thomas went down with that right knee, and we thought he was going to be out of the game for a while, but he came back in, and he's running healthy.
He is, and both running backs, again, had such big seasons last year.
Yeah, and it's great to see that they're doing the same thing again this year. Coach Rick Brewer has done a fine job with his offensive line. They're opening holes and doing a good job.
They sure are. Some stats coming into this game. Again, Thomas had 212 yards coming in. Hedrick had 265 yards coming in. And they're both going to have 100-yard games this game, no doubt. On the defense, Todd Vidic doing a good job. And they're just shutting them down, not letting them do anything much on offense.
I think we should also mention Johnny Morton, who made a really big catch on 4th down and 8 yards to keep a drive alive that they eventually scored on. And he also has been blocking downfield exceptionally well on the wide ends.
And that's got to make them feel good because their passing game really has not been that well, or not been running that well this year, with only 2 completions out of 15 attempts. And just to see one pass like that work in a game has got to fire you up.
You know, we talk about Avondale being a powerhouse in the Metro Conference, which they are. But, you know, being in that small conference hurts them when it comes time for the playoffs because they don't have a passing game. They don't have a well-rounded offense. And when they get in the first round against teams like Okemos that
we saw last year,
right,
and they can shut down maybe a running game, you've got nothing else to go to.
That's right.
So the score at halftime, 19-0. The Yellow Jackets leading the Cosmos, and we'll be back with second half action right after these messages. Stay with us.
Baseball season is here, and Troy Stamp & Coin is ready with the largest collection of baseball cards in Oakland County. Cards from Don Russ, Topps, Fleer, O-Pee-Chee, and many others, including new Sport Flicks, the cards with magic motion. Troy Stamp & Coin also carries sports collectibles such as plates, mugs, and figurines featuring your favorite stars. So for a great selection and courteous service, visit Troy Stamp & Coin at our new location at 3275 Rochester Road in the Troy Point Plaza.
Back here at Keyworth Stadium in Hamtramck, Dave Zorn along with Mark Unger to bring you high school football action. This is the first game of the season. We'll be bringing you many more games this year, so stay tuned to UCTV.
I love some of the visuals our crack camera crew is getting. We're down here in beautiful downtown Hamtramck at Keyworth Stadium, and there you can see Coach Rick Brewer of the Avondale Yellow Jackets. His team leads 19-0. They've done just about everything they wanted to do in the first half, both offensively and defensively. There you get a look at the Hamtramck Cosmos as they are set to kick off and start this second half of football.
And a new kicker, your favorite person.
There's my man. I'm going to let you say his name.
Weskevich to kick. And fielded at about the 22-yard line. Hedrick cuts outside. He's got a lot of room to run. And finally out of bounds at about the 40-yard line.
Excellent job by Tyrone Weathersby to turn on that speed. The junior got outside with his 165 pounds. And he's skinny. I mean, he's 165 and 6'3½", but he got out there quickly and made a nice tackle.
Hedrick, at the end, you still see some camouflage on his helmet there at the end, trying to take that grass out of the helmet, as he made a nice run It is a soft turf out there. The field is in great condition. It's just a little bit soft. We had a little bit of rain the past few days.
Excellent field. You know, there used to be a cinder track around this field, but soccer caught on so big here, they filled it in.
They filled it in and just grass all the way around.
It's a big defensive stand for Hamtramck. They've got to stop Avondale first off.
On their first carry, this is Grayla, cuts upfield, first down and more, and tough time going down after that. First down, the ball at about the 25-yard line. So from the 40 down to the 25.
Yusef Thomas with the fake, and it was an excellent fake. It took number 76 out of the play. Donald Owen, he was suckered in, and Grayla was able to turn up the field and get some big yardage for a first down.
First and 10 now. Ball on the 25-yard line of the Cosmos.
I don't know what the delay is.
Some delay down on the field. Now the whistle is blown. Clock starts. The clock that we can't see, by the way.
I think they were waiting for him to fasten his chin strap.
Split
There's a pitch. Perfect
formation.
pitch.
Pitch to Thomas, cuts outside, running out of room, and just delivers a blow. And a big gain for Thomas.
Rico Quaker with a good job getting over there. Also, number 86, Tony Davis, in on the tackle. And I'm not sure if, was that Yusef Thomas?
Yep.
I'm not sure whether he delivered the blow or got one delivered on him, but there was some big pads cracking out there.
He was going at full speed.
That was an interesting play because the motion went to the right and then the pitch came back to the left on a pivot by the quarterback, Grayla. Excellent execution by Grayla as he went down as soon as he released the pitch.
2nd and 3, gain of about 7. Almost 8. Split backfield, the handoff to, no handoff to Hedrick. Grayla is hit hard and Thomas recovers.
Grayla
82.
turned.
Mike Nichols got in there. Excuse me, Mark.
Grayla did not hand off, and he turned to run with the ball, and bang, right on top of him, one of the Cosmos defenders. The ball came loose, but an alert Yusef Thomas pounced on the ball.
The right end, Mike Nichols, number 82, got in very quickly, and
Rick Brewer, I'm sure, didn't like what he saw on that play.
Not what they want to run. It'll be 3rd. They got it right back at the original line of scrimmage.
There
now.
you get a good look at quarterback Jeff Grayla.
3rd and 3 now. And watch for something again on this side. No, the pitch out to Hedrick. A lot of room to run outside, and he's going. He's angling for the end zone. Touchdown. He's in. Dave Hedrick, touchdown.
Excellent block that time by Steve Lahosky. He came across on the, they faked up the middle, and the pitch went out wide to Hedrick, and then Lahosky came back and made an excellent block on the defender who was right on top of Hedrick, and he was able to turn the corner because of that block and go for the touchdown. Can't say enough about those guys who get out there, and they don't get any headlines, but they throw the key blocks. And the other guys score the points.
That is so true. It made it a lot easier for Hedrick to get in there, and he just managed to squeeze in for an 18-yard touchdown run. And the attempted extra point, fumbled, and they're going to get a screen. No. Morton angling for a touchdown. He might get in. He gets in. 2 points.
Number 26 for Hamtramck, Chuck Yarbrough, tried to stop him, but when you don't get down low and plant your feet and drive through the guy, he's going to go right through you, and that's exactly what John Morton did on that play. Boy, he's made a couple of key plays today, and that one was sure a surprise.
Sure was, and a fumble on the snap, and Morton manages, a receiver manages to get outside and fight his way in for a 2-point extra conversion, rather. And now the Yellow Jackets are up, well,
27-0.
27-0.
And as we said at the top of the second half, that was a key possession for Avondale. The Cosmos really needed to stop them if they wanted to get back in the ball game. They did not. And here they come back the other way. He's got a little hole.
And squeezing through is Miner again, number 44, Melvin Miner.
And this time Miner held on to the ball, but he got down real low and snuck out a couple of extra yards as he tried to hide behind some of the blockers and get upfield. Melvin Miner got some camouflage on his helmets, red.
27-0 now on the first drive by the Yellow Jackets. They managed to get it in and not eating up much time on the clock. They got it in a hurry.
Yes, they did. But again, they ran the ball, so it did use up some clock. How much clock, we have no idea.
Ball at about the 34-yard line, just side of the 35, and no room to run. I don't know why they try to run the option to the short side of the field. It just run out of room over there. If he had some room, he might have been able to angle it up.
Well, if you use a little misdirection and then cut back to the short side of the field, oftentimes that's a good play. But as we know, Hamtramck with the straight veer, they don't run that much misdirection. And that time, of course, the play did not work.
Second down, 10 now for the Cosmos. Their offense has really not been on the field. They need to get something going now.
They may try that wide pass to the left side. Let's see what they do here.
2 men in the backfield. Minor is down here in the end. They throw down to Minor, and Minor not much room to run as he goes out of bounds. And they may have got maybe half a yard out of the play.
Now, you know, that's a good play if they run it to the wide side of the field. But once again, it doesn't do any good on the short side.
So you're limiting yourself, really, if you come to this short side. You got all that room to run over there on the other side.
And that's where they were so effective when they ran that play in the first half.
Let's see what happens here.
They got to pass it again.
And no gain on the play, so it'll be 3rd and 10.
One receiver split wide to the top of your screen.
Sands, back to pass. He's got his man. He's not looking, though. And an interception.
That's a touchdown.
Johnson with the interception, and he's going all the way. No, knocked out of bounds at about the 1-yard line.
That was a good play by number 48. Who is that? Mike Ragland got back to knock Johnson out of bounds before he got into the end zone. But you're right, the wide receiver was not even looking for the ball.
Pass intended for Tony Davis. Davis did not even know it was coming to him.
And I don't know if we can get a shot, but Coach Mark Brown is talking right now to his quarterback, Sands, saying, look, you got to wait a little bit longer before you get rid of the ball. There he is.
And a pass intercepted by Chuck Johnson. Johnson is having a great year defensively with 1 fumble recovery this year and 2 interceptions. That is his 3rd, and he's only a junior. Ball at about the 2-yard line, and Yusef Thomas goes in for a touchdown. Yellow Jackets score again.
Now the next play, 2 yards into the end zone for a touchdown.
That was just a play we've seen about a dozen times already today. Just a quick hitter down in that area of the field. Keeps those legs driving, gets a little crack in the defensive line, and it's a 6-pointer.
Thomas makes it 33-0, and now going to try for the extra point again. They're going to work on their snap this time. Morton to hold, Hedrick to kick. Hedrick,
good
snap. It is up, it is good. And they tack on another one, it is 34-0.
I'm not kidding you.
Don't tell them now, they're going to be aiming all game.
Oh, that's right. Well, hopefully at the quarter, hopefully they won't score any more this quarter. You know, you saw a look over there as it's 34-0 at the parking lot. Just down to your left here is Roosevelt Boulevard, and they changed the name of that street to Roosevelt Boulevard because Teddy Roosevelt actually spoke here. At Keyworth Stadium about 50 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's not like Lincoln slept here. It's or George Washington slept here. It's
Roosevelt
spoke here.
And he really did. They had a huge platform set up and everything.
So Keyworth Stadium, historic site, and we get another kickoff, and this one's a little deeper, fielded at about the 7-yard line, and this time Minor's got a running start. He fumbles,
again, but it went out of bounds. It'll be
out of bounds.
It'll be Cosmo ball.
If you got a fumble, do it that way.
I guess.
So Minor fumbles again on the kickoff. This time he was lucky, went out of bounds. So the ball at the 28-yard line, and first and 10 there for the Cosmos.
And that's just not concentrating. When you're moving that fast, you just have to keep your mind sharp and know to wrap your hands around the ball and hold it tight. That's what Coach Mark Brown said to him just now.
Yeah, he shook his hand, gave him a little pat on the back, and said, hey.
If you drop that ball again, I'm going to kill you.
No. He says, talking to Mark Brown, he said they got a good, positive attitude, and they know they're going up against a good team. And look at this, a big gain and a first down. And who's that? Erskin's Presley.
Man, Erskin.
For a gain of
Erskine Presley with a big 11-yard gain, getting the ball out over the 41-yard line. So 1st and 10, so a little bit more of that, and the Cosmos are going to be feeling good.
Chris Benedict had to come up and make the final tackle on that play, although he had Erskine had a couple of guys on him already. Benedict came up to make the stop complete.
High formation in the backfield. Henry Sands, the quarterback. Sands almost loses the snap, now loses the ball. And the Yellow Jackets have it. That was not a good play right from the beginning. He almost lost the snap, finally got the ball back, and then tried to force the handoff into the arms of the running back and just couldn't do it.
Exactly, Dave. And in that situation, you know, the quarterback sometimes, when it's a pass play called, tries to pull out a little quick. That time it was a running play that he tried to pull out a little quick on, and well, it was doomed from the beginning.
So 1st and 10 now for the Yellow Jackets. Great field position again. The ball on the 41 of the Cosmos. So the Yellow Jackets come back. Still having their first string offense in there, but I'm sure Coach Brewer is going to work some other faces in there. And back to pass, Grayla. He's working on his passing game now.
He's wide open.
Wide open and just overthrew his man, number 10, Jeff Kasemba.
Kasemba just had his man completely fooled, blew right by him. Grayla had some pressure. I'll tell you a good sign about this Hamtramck team. They're getting blown out here 34-0. They just fumbled. And what do you think the quarterback and center are doing right now on the sidelines?
They're practicing their snaps.
Yep, just a good, healthy football attitude. You've got to practice no matter what you do out on the field, how good or bad it is. You've got to come to the sidelines and practice things like this.
And a very good point. 2nd and 10. And now, like I said, this is a great chance for the Yellow Jackets to work on their passing game. But no, they hand off inside, and a nice play. A nice play by the Cosmos defensive line to stop Yusef Thomas.
That was big, number 72, Waskovich.
Waskovich again. And Waskovich was down on the ground, lying down. He just stuck out his arm and said, hey, you're not going anywhere.
That's a big arm.
Yeah. 3rd and about 8 now. And look at Hamtramck stopping the Yellow Jackets right now.
Well, the Yellow Jacket offense is tired.
They've been out there most of the game.
Yeah.
The defense is fired up, though, for the Cosmos. Let's see what they can do now.
Here
the pitch out to Thomas. They cut up. Thomas cuts back. He's got a lot of room to run. Look out. Yusef Thomas, one man to beat.
He beat
touchdown. No flags on the play. It is a touchdown. 6 points, Thomas.
Rico Quaker had a chance to stop that play before it ever got started, but he went to hit Yusef Thomas high, and that's no way to bring down a running back like Yusef Thomas. He blew right by him, then slid by a host of other tacklers and just made some quick moves, got all the way down into the end zone. And another score for the Avondale Yellow Jackets.
40-0 now the score. Well, Hedrick scored 3 touchdowns, and now Thomas says, wait, it's my turn. Now he scores 3 touchdowns. And they're just going back and forth here. The 2 great backs of last year are doing their job again this year. Hedrick with the extra point. He boots it through. No. It is wide. The extra point, no good. And the score remains 40-0. And the Yellow Jackets just taking advantage of those mistakes. And like you said, with a team like the Yellow Jackets, you make one mistake, it's going to end up costing you at least 3.
And that's exactly what happened in this situation.
And what happens is, with the trouble in the kicking game, it's not going to cost you at least 3. It'll be at least 6. Yeah. The extra point is optional. 40-0 the score now as the Yellow Jackets continue to take advantage of mistakes and lost opportunities here.
Got a light rain falling here at Keyworth Stadium, and you look around and you see the sparse crowd here. You know, they used to get 9,000-10,000 people here for Hamtramck football games in the early 60s. They'd have them box seats down in where you see the little pit area down here. Those used to be box seats.
Back when you played?
Nah.
Back when you played, they said, Mark Unger's playing, folks. We're going to go pack the stadium.
I don't think so.
Short kick, taken at about the 25 and brought out to about the 30 and more. That's Henry Sands at quarterback, and he's down shy of the 30-yard line.
And he took a shot.
35.
Down on the 33-yard line.
But he's all right. A little gut buster there.
Ball down to 33.
Sands did a good job. He took the ball, came upfield, switched arms, and started to go across, made another move up the field. And we have come to the end, thank goodness, of the third quarter.
A big scoring third quarter it was, as Hedrick scored. Morton on a 2-point extra point conversion scored. Thomas, 2 yards out, scored on a touchdown. So it's 2 touchdowns, and then Thomas scored again on a 37-yard run, as we just saw, made it 40-0. The extra point was no good as we start the fourth quarter of play. So, again, the Yellow Jackets that time having a better quarter than the second.
Yeah, it's, you know, it's just the kind of thing where if you're that dominant a team against a team that's going to make a lot of mistakes and fumbles and interceptions and things like that, well, you're going to blow them out, and that's exactly what we're seeing here. Now, you're right. I would like to see Avondale work on their passing game a little bit when they get the ball back, because there's no sense in wasting Thomas, who, you know, hurt his knee a little bit already.
And just like you said, maybe get some confidence in Grayla when they do go up against those teams at the end of the season. Handoff up the middle, nothing that time, maybe a couple yards. It'll be second and about 8.
Sands handed the ball to Ragland, who carried on the play for just a couple of yards. Melvin Minor will go in with the new play.
But you're talking about the one-dimensional offense that they have. Well, they have really 2 dimensions. They have 2 different runners they can go to, really.
That's right.
But primarily, that's all, you know, the Yellow Jackets can do is run the ball. And if they can get a passing game established here early in the season, the third game here, maybe they can build up some of those stats back and build up some respectable passing game. Second and 8. Sands handing off, nothing there that time, and hit right at the line of scrimmage is Presley, number 30.
And Erskine Presley did not get the ball cleanly. It was a poor handoff, and he had to fumble with it. And whenever you're doing that, you're not in the motion of the play, you're not into the timing, and you can't expect to make any yardage.
Here we go again, third and about 7 now. Sands back to pass, rolls out the other way now, and being pressured.
Oh, big hit.
Got some room to run. It's out of bounds, gained maybe a couple yards, maybe 3 yards on the play.
And I want to tell you something. Big number 76, Donald Owen, laid a hit on not 1, but 2 of the Avondale Rhinos, and one of those players is down right now. He just got the wind knocked out of him because he did not see Owen coming, and Owen just laid him out flat.
76, Don Owen with a nice hit.
Give me the water. Water!
Lost some air. Just too bad that 61, here he comes. That's good to see. But, boy, he was not ready for it. Number 61, Jeff Callahan, back up on his feet.
And also for Hamtramck, Paul Bilecki got cut a little bit on that play. There you see him, number 78. Had to clean him up. I tell you, there's some big hits out here. This Hamtramck team, they're tough. They don't like losing 40-0, and they're going to make you pay for it any way they can. Nothing dirty, but just good, clean, hard hitting out on that field.
4th and 5, and time to punt. Mike Nichols in there, number 82, to punt. Wants to get one off at least this time.
And he did, but it's short.
It is short. Let's see what kind of roll he's going to get. A nice roll, but getting it there is Johnson, and he's hit as soon as he touches it.
Yep, tackled by 3 different Hamtramck defenders.
Just shy of the 30-yard line, they're going to mark it.
Good coverage that time on the punt by the Hamtramck Cosmos.
And this probably will be the longest, one of the longest drives that the Yellow Jackets are going to have to put together. Ball at about the 28-yard line. 1st and 10 there.
Let's see if they don't try and pass again to Kasemba. Boy, last time he was so wide open, wasn't he?
Wide open, and just managed to...
Grayla out-threw him.
Out-threw him.
There you can see Hamtramck's version of William the Fridge Perry.
Grayla handing off to Hedrick. Hedrick, a lot of room to run, 2 men to beat. Let's see what happens. They caught up to him as he cut back. Good pursuit that time.
Donald Owen
by Don Owen.
So he plays both sides of the line of scrimmage, offense and defense, equally as well. That time he hustled back and made the tackle about 30 yards down the field from the line of scrimmage.
46-yard line.
Ball at the 46 now of Hamtramck. A big gain by Hedrick. So he just took it off tackle. The Veer offense is working well for Coach Rick Brewer today.
They split both wide receivers.
So let's see what happens here. They look like they're going to be in a passing route right now. Grayla calls the signals, works his way down, hands off to Thomas, and Thomas dives for about 4 yards.
Boy, Thomas is just a reckless kind of runner, isn't he? I mean, he just throws himself into that hole and does whatever he can to pick up some yardage. And number 61 is down again for Avondale. Oh, that's 81.
81, Vidic.
And they don't want to see him get hurt. I don't see what happened.
Todd Vidic, the captain, co-captain on the team, is down.
And now they're helping him up. He just got a little dinged, I think.
Well, the score 40-0, but like you said, Hamtramck is not laying off on the hits.
They got some big boys, too.
They're hitting hard.
I mean, these guys hit you, you feel it.
Gain of about 3 yards on the play. It'll be second and a long 7. Thomas and Hedrick still in the backfield as they split back there. And a slot formation down to the bottom of the screen here. Down the field, Thomas hit hard at the line of scrimmage and bounces off.
He says, shoot. Almost had more.
A third down coming up in short yardage. Well, maybe a little bit longer, almost 4.
Gotta love running backs like that who, you know, they make a break, they get out in the open, they see that those goalposts ahead of them and get tripped up and they say, darn it,
next time. 3rd and 4 now. Normally a passing down, but with the Yellow Jackets, looks like they're going to run.
Well, that's what they do best.
Vidic is back in there, the tight end. The handoff, Hedrick, and he muscles his way through for a first down.
Hedrick, the ball carrier.
Just great football from the Rhinos right now. They're just doing everything. They're totally dominating the line of scrimmage, and that is something they really didn't do in the first half. But this Hamtramck defense has been on the field all day long. There you see big number 78.
Paul Bilecki.
And, you know, it's bound to catch up with them.
1st and 10, ball on the 34. The Yellow Jackets consuming some time now here in the 4th quarter. The score 40-0. Yellow Jackets lead. Split man, but they go to Thomas inside, and a trap won't work.
And just as I said that the offensive line is dominating, they have a breakdown, and the defensive line of Hamtramck stops Yusef Thomas cold. Grayla looks to the sidelines to see what Coach Rick Brewer wants him to run. And there you see Mark Brown watching his Hamtramck Cosmos. They're getting beat pretty handily here.
Little loss on the play. It'll be 2nd and 11 now. Grayla, the quarterback, 2 men in the backfield. He's got Morton split right. Grayla down to Thomas. Thomas off tackle. Grayla out there, rather Morton out there giving him a block. We've got a penalty flag thrown down. Looks like Morton holding his man out there. So this may be brought back.
It's the first mistake Johnny Morton has made all day long. You got to keep those hands in when you're blocking downfield for your running backs, and I don't think Morton did that time.
All Morton's got to do down there is just get in the way and let Thomas do the work, and that's what he's telling him down there.
Number 4. Once, twice, 3, 4.
Get the call from the official. Holding. And that'll be against Morton.
So that'll bring it back now, and interesting situation coming up now. 2nd and long, 2nd and about 13 now for the Yellow Jackets.
I imagine what they're
going to pass?
No. I think they're going to run that option. Although Kusemba just came back in the ball game, so they may be going to.
Might be going to be, as George would say.
That's right.
All right, they've got 2 men on the wide side of the field. They've got John Morton on the slot.
Inside, Peter. Inside, Peter.
Here it is.
There it is.
Pitch to Thomas. Thomas, a lot of room to run. They go to the wide side. Thomas angling for the first down, and I believe has it.
Boy, I tell you, he gets going, and a couple of guys get on him, and a couple of more hit him, and he just drags them with him.
25-yard line.
Thomas at a big 13-yard gain gets the first down and 1 carry. No. Shy of about 2.
Just short of a first down.
There we go.
Third down. 1
Marker
yard
was
to go.
moved when they were coming that way. I thought he was in for the first. He is shy about 1.5 yards. And third and short yardage now.
I think the Cosmos could use a little help from the Pope right about now.
I was waiting for that all game, you know.
I know.
Let's see what happens. Third and short. The handoff. Hedrick straight up. And a first down and more. Inside the 20-yard line.
You know, talking about the Pope, he's going to be speaking here right in Hamtramck, right around the corner. I told you about Roosevelt Street. Well, just at the end of Roosevelt Street here, which is about a block away, they have a whole stage set up where the Pope will be coming in, and very exciting.
It is, and you can tell the community is too, just driving through here.
Yeah.
And correction, the ball just outside the 20-yard line. They keep marking it back from where I call it. I guess they can hear me up here. First and 10 now. Ball on the 21-yard line. Grayla handing off this time to number 45, Dennis Long in there.
Dennis Long kept his feet moving and tried to get some extra yardage, but he was wrapped up pretty strongly. Waskevich in on the tackle again. He's had an excellent game. If we had to pick a defensive player that's done a tremendous job for Hamtramck today, it would be Waskevich.
He sure has. And that's the Hamtramck version of the fridge.
There you get a look at Keyworth Stadium, home of the Hamtramck Cosmos.
Historic Keyworth Stadium.
That's right.
Come on now.
Second and about 7 yards for the Yellow Jackets. We're in the fourth quarter. The score, Yellow Jackets 40 and the Cosmos nothing. Grayla, a little bit of movement on the offense. We're going to have offsides called.
And I'm sure they're going to take the penalty that'll make it 2nd down and 5 as opposed to 3rd down and 6, or excuse me, 2nd down and about 13 as opposed to 3rd down and 6. And one of the Rhinos having trouble getting up.
Illegal procedure on the offense. They're going to bring it back.
Jason Leonard, 5'10", 164-pound guard. He's a junior. He is down, and they are looking at him. There you get a look at the stands with people protecting themselves. It's not really a rain that's coming down. It's more like a heavy mist.
Jason Leonard down. Coach Brewer having some good things to say about Leonard before the game. A junior guard starting.
2nd down.
And he's working his way up.
That's quite an accomplishment on this team.
Indeed. And he's up, he's limping.
Sure is.
Doesn't look like he's going to be back in this game, and I don't see why he should be. 40-0 the score.
They could put you and me in, Zorn.
I wouldn't mind. Get back out there.
Lace them up.
I tell you, if you try to get out back, you know, try to play some football these days, you sure are sore the next day. I found that out real quick. Anyway, back to the action down on the field. The score 40-0. Avondale leads. It'll be 2nd and about 13 for the Yellow Jackets. Ball at about the 23-yard line. Handoff inside to Long. Long is hit forward past the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd and about 8.
One thing you got to respect about this Hamtramck team, they're down 40 points, but they are making the Cosmos earn every single one of those yards out there on the field right now. That was number 26 who got in on the tackle on that play, Chuck Yarbrough.
So it is 3rd and 9. Again, they moved it back 1 yard from where I called it, so I'll just subtract 1 from now on. 3rd and 9. Some new faces in the backfield and then some new quarterback in there. And he is wrapped up, pitches, and that's what happens when you get a new quarterback in there. Jeff Kusemba, the junior, also a flanker, is in there playing quarterback.
And Chuck Johnson was in the backfield that time. Not exactly
textbook
execution.
Yeah. I'll say one word, you say the other. We'll work it that way.
It'll be about
4th and
17 yards to go.
15, 16 yards.
Let's see what they do here. I'm sure they're going to pass.
Let's see if Kasemba can pass.
We know he can run.
Sure can. Split in the backfield.
Look for Johnny Morton in the bottom of your screen.
Johnson and Long in the backfield. The pitch goes out to Long. Long cuts outside and up, runs right into the back of Morton. And right down in the play. There's Long.
Long did a good job of getting outside and turning the corner. Johnny Morton down there trying to throw a block. Number 14, Rico Quaker, came over and participated in that tackle.
So it's a first down the other way.
And there goes the fridge.
As the Cosmos. He's done a heck of a job.
Waskevich
playing both ways. Was originally slated to play right tackle, and they had put Andy Roguski in there, and that has helped because Waskevich did a great job as right tackle defensively.
First down for the Cosmos on the 14-yard line.
1st and 10, ball on the 14-yard line. Henry Sands, the quarterback, handing off and trying to cut back for some yardage is number 48, Mike Ragland.
Hamtramck basically, I think, running the clock out here. That's why they should put the second stringers in. Don't let a guy like Ragland, who can help you in another game, get himself hurt right now.
And coming into the ball game, number 40.
I guess the second string offensive line is in because Waskevich is out.
Willie Jones going off to the top of the screen in a split formation. 2 men in the backfield. The handoff. Off tackle again, this time to Ragland, and he can't get anywhere, so quickly we've got a 3rd down.
Seems a shame to just burn out Ragland time after time.
They're hoping maybe he can break loose. He's their big play man, and hopefully Ragland can break loose and get some yardage here and get him out of their territory.
Well, Erskine Presley can run with the ball. Willie Jones. They have a lot of different backs that they can use. We certainly have enjoyed ourselves here at Hamtramck High.
The first game of the season.
It's a pleasure being back working with you.
A lot of scoring. A little lopsided, but a lot of scoring. 3rd and about 8. Sands to pass. He lofts one up there. Could it be another interception? No, they let it go.
Poor Sands. I mean, he's just not getting any time to throw the ball. He just takes that drop back and heaves it up in the air and hopes somebody on his team can run under it.
Not a bad pass, but just a little too far.
Had to deliver it a little early.
4th and 8 and punting situation.
And the punting game has not gone well for Hamtramck today.
Surprised maybe they won't punt. Maybe they'll run.
I don't think so.
Whistle down there before they could get anything going. What do we got here? There you see number 82, Mike Nichols, the punter.
Mike Nichols back to punt for the Cosmos.
And the whistle blows again, and we're ready to go.
There's a good punt.
This time gets a nice boot, not to half, or midfield rather. But Johnson breaks loose and gets it back out to about the 37-yard line.
And once again, Chuck Yarbrough with a chance to make the tackle right where the ball was caught. Johnson made a good move and got away from him.
So 1st and 10 again now for the Yellow Jackets. And coming out is Jeff Kasemba, number 10, the junior quarterback. We'll be seeing him next year.
And that's the ball game, I think.
Is that it?
That is it. That's what I thought they were discussing before. That was the last
We've
play.
only got a few ticks on the clock left is what they were saying.
And there you see the teams shaking hands. Excellent sportsmanship exhibited by both teams today, and you have to commend the coaching staff of both schools for making sure that they instill that very important virtue in these young men.
A lopsided score, 40-0, but a lot of hard hitting here in our first game on UCTV. We'll be back to wrap it up right after these messages.
Troy Stamp and Coin welcomes spring with figurines capturing life's precious moments. Precious moments and a wide selection of other collectibles are available at Troy Stamp and Coin on Rochester Road just north of 16 Mile in the Troy Point Plaza.
The final score here at Hamtramck High School, the Keyworth Stadium, 40-0 as the Yellow Jackets just took it to the Cosmos. And to recap the scoring here while Mark Unger collects his thoughts and gives us a nice recap of the game. In the second quarter, our first score came when Dave Hedrick took a 6-yard run, 6-0. And a nice shot there through the eyes of the Yellow Jacket helmet.
That's our helmet cam.
The helmet cam, the UCTV helmet cam, as you see. Hedrick again scored on a 6-yard run, make it 12-0. And they missed the extra points on both. Thomas then 5 yards out, scored 18-0. The extra point was good, 19-0. Hedrick from 18 yards out. Or the extra point was no good, or rather it was good. Hedrick in the third quarter then we took a break for halftime, scored from 18 yards out, 25-0. Morton with a 2-point conversion on a missed snap scored. It was 27-0. And then Yusef Thomas, 2 yards out, 33-0. The extra point was good, 34-0. And then Thomas again on a long run, 37 yards, 40-0. A lot of scoring going on there, and I had to double check a couple of times to make sure that I was really saying that. So 40-0 the final score, and a very happy Rick Brewer, as you can see him there.
Yeah, they have to be very satisfied with the way they played today. The Hamtramck Cosmos instead have to be very disappointed because they turned the ball over and they left the defense out on the field most of the game, and by the end of the game Avondale was able to run right through them. Oh, that's nice. Oh, way to go, Coach. The spoils of victory. And as we leave the home of the Pope here in Hamtramck, I want to say it's been great working with you again, David. I'm looking forward to a great rest of the season.
Thanks, Mark. And from Mark Unger, I'm Dave Zorn. And from all of us at UCTV Sports, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time on the Game of the Week.